Okay, so what we're doing is preparing the bed for asparagus planting, and ideally the depth of the trenches should be from 6 to 8 inches deep. And we got it prepped yesterday, and now we are going to add some compost in each trench. After making sure that this raised bed is free of weeds and other plants that might compete for nutrient from the soil, uh, the first thing we did now is make a trench on each side. I will be planting 6 crowns of asparagus on each side. And the first thing we're gonna do is spread some all-purpose fertilizer and bone meal on each trenches, and then cover it with about 2 inches of compost. And we're gonna create somewhat like a mound, a little hill to put the crown of asparagus to sit on, and then we'll cover it with this original raised bed soil mixed with compost. So what my husband is doing now is spreading some all-purpose fertilizer on the trenches. We're gonna be doing that on both sides. Okay, and the next thing after the fertilizer, my husband has to spread some of that bone meal in there.
Grandma,
There's a wasp. Don't worry about the wasp. It's not going to bother you if you leave it alone.
Okay.
Okay, so far we have all-purpose fertilizer and bone meal. Now we are, oops, making a noise. We're kind of marking 6 places for 6 crowns by putting the compost pretty much like it's probably approximately about a foot apart from each other. 1, 2, okay, we got 6 in there. Okay, that's looking good. Now I'm gonna spread some more on that. I think that's good enough, really. Just mound it, because we still got on that wheelbarrow. You got the one that you sift, a finer one, right? Okay, so we're gonna top it with the finer compost once the crown are in place. Okay, so I've been laying out all of the crown, and on each mound of compost we have 1 crown, and spread the root as well as we can without hurting it. And it's not easy, trust me. I broke a couple of it already, but I don't think it will hurt it much. Okay, so now that once we got the asparagus in positions like this, we are going to cover this with a mixture of finer compost. My husband, what he does whenever he gathers some compost is that he sifts them. Okay, now what we're going to do is cover this with a finer compost mixed with this soil that is originally been here in the raised bed. So right now we got everything laid out like this, and I'm going to continue on planting the rest of them. Okay, so now we are covering each asparagus with more compost. We are using a finer compost which my husband sifted from the first compost that we applied at the bottom of the crown. So this is the next step. Covering with more compost. You wanna come on this side, Mama? Or can you reach it from there? Careful.
I think I can get it from here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that big one. That's a nice, well spread. That's a good one. Try and put some more on this side, Mama. Good girl. Yes. Now we are partially covering it again because we are going to apply for the second time light application of all-purpose fertilizer, and then we're going to water it well.
Are you filming? Are you filming yet?
That is bothering me. Ooh. It turns out that I have 14 crowns. Some of them are much smaller than, some of the crowns, so I guess they decided that they'll give me 2 smaller ones just to make up for the smaller crowns. But altogether I have 14 crowns, and I got them all planted in this bed now. So this is a bed that's about 4 by 8 with 14, supposed to be 12 crowns, but 2 extra, so I just have them all in there planted. And it's now watered well, and we are going to cover it with the green fabric for the time being, just to make sure that we don't get any more cold weather.